All right, now let's continue with the spine, straight spine's posture. And let's see what happens if we move from up here where we were, and then we're going to move down to the hips. And you're right across the top of the hip bone, right there, and you pull, and you go, and the more you pull, remember this one? Now we're combining it with this one. And it's important to realize I'm really pulling. I feel like I've got a couple of ropes. I'm grabbing the ropes, and now I'm pulling them like that. But I'm really pulling. If you were standing in front of me and I grabbed you and you didn't want me to pull you close to me, and I grab you by the hands and I start pulling, and you're resisting, then I have to pull hard enough to overcome whatever resistance there is. So in the voice, in the diaphragm, in the breath, in the compression, there's a certain amount of resistance, and we're always looking to equalize that resistance. As your vocal cords close and you go up and down, your vocal cords get longer for the high notes and they close tighter, and there's a certain resistance in the vocal cords. The bigger the voice, the more the resistance. See? So the idea is to equalize that resistance with activity in the diaphragm and in the rib cage and in the breathing. So that's why breathing is so important, and what happens down here is so important. I'm going to go. Now try to breathe way down low in my rear end, and now I'm going to start pulling like this. Now, who knows what's happening? I don't know what's happening. I don't really care. I just want to sing. So I go, that was a little more precarious on a smoky day like today. I'm a little bit phlegmy and so forth. I feel kind of dirty. And this one seems to be better. I don't know why. I wouldn't say better, but at least safer. If I'm smoky and all irritated and my nose and everything that's the way I feel today, I really do need something that's going to hold things down for me and keep my vocal cords in balance. This equalization I'm talking about. When the vocal cords are dirty and maybe a little bit covered with who knows what, but they could be that the equalization process takes a little bit more pressure. Could be, we don't really know. Nobody knows. We just do this stuff. This is sort of like going to karate class where you do these moves and you don't really know why you're moving them. The instructor tells you to do them and you do them. Then one day you end up lethal. We hope we end up lethal singers too, right? So we go. The tendency when you feel dirty is to give more. Because it does bring your vocal cords a little bit, more activity and tends to vibrate them clean a little bit. But of course, as usual, in the laws of the paradoxes, if we learn those in Zen Buddhism, they teach us the opposite is always better. So I'll do the opposite. I go, and I really do try to find the edges of my vocal cords and get them to clean up. So I go, this pulling method affects, let's say, the lower half of the spine. But remember the laws of the remember the laws of paradoxes. One of the main ones in Western civilization was for every action, there's an opposite equal reaction, third law of motion. So if I really want my voice to work up here, I've got to make sure that it works down below. And this is one of those things where I go, and throws my voice very high, not in my nose at all. And I can sing really, especially someone like me, I don't know why like me, but I always had high notes running in my ears. I used to sing all the highest rolls. When I was in Germany, I sang 64 rolls, and generally the high ones. But once in a while I do a low one. I didn't like it very much, but you know, you get paid to do it, and you get to stay active that way. And sometimes I could bargain, say, all right, I want 4 Rigolettos. I'll do 4 Flying Dutchmans for you, but I want 4 Rigolettos to go with it. And they'd say, okay. Now, the whole idea is to go pull, start here, grab the ropes, and then pull right over the top of your bones, right here. If you're in karate class, you throw all your punches from down here because it incorporates the bicep and adds power to the punch. So we're doing it right now. We're working on the spine, so we're going to do it backwards. So we go, la, la, what do you think? Can I do that? La, 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 la. What in the world am I doing? Who knows? This is one of those areas you know the bicycle. And when you stop falling down, you can now ride a bicycle. But you don't know what happened at that moment when you got your balance. You can't write it in a book, you can't explain it. If you want to teach someone to ride a bike, especially writing down a book, say, put them up, put their hands on the handlebars and feet on the pedals and give them a shove. When they don't fall down anymore, they can ride. Like getting on skis. When you don't fall down anymore, you can ski. And you get better and better. The more you do, the better your balance gets. So it's very, very hard, though, to describe. And when somebody says, do this and the throat, do that, every action has an equal reaction. People go, I have to make an action to do that. Some people like it, some people actually prefer it. They say the other one is open, la, but open would be la, and I'm not doing that. If you break the first rule of the bel canto school, this one is an action in the throat. But so is this one. They're both actions, therefore they're both wrong. If I do this, also wrong. It's an action. What if I do? Caruso said in his book, never change the shape of your mouth when you go to a high note. So I'm going to go, how are you today? I'm fine. How are you today? I'm fine. How are you today? I'm fine. And I don't have to modify, change, do anything. Just do nothing except breathe and then pull. Breathe and then push-pull, right? I used to call this the push-pull, and it really does work, especially for certain music. And if I get this lower one, I was in the first video we did a few minutes ago, we did different places on the head. Remember that? La, la, ein Schwert verhieß mir der Vater, ich fand es in höchster Not. Right? Forse les Argentines, pos al fin. You got to decide if you want to change colors, change timbres, whatever, and you're singing different kinds of music. And I must say, in the German system, when you go there, they have 85 opera houses, and all of them are full repertoire opera houses, which means you may sing all kinds of different styles, even different languages during the season. Some places we did operas in German that were very typical. Carmen was nearly always done in German, so to sing it in French, I would go out of the country. I sang in France a lot, sang in Holland a lot, Eastern Europe a lot, but when you would go there, you would do it in French. But in Germany, they always did Carmen. They like the drama, and they want to make sure everybody could understand the story and so forth. So, but Rigoletto, things like that, sometimes they do those in Italian. Depends, because there were so many words, you know. If you sing La Donna Mobile in German, it's O wie so trüge dich sind Weiberherzen, mögen sie klagen, mögen sie scherzen. So you realize that the language imposes on you and on your voice a certain kind of change of color, right? What if I do this? Och vi som trygger i sin dvajver herzen, laden never bilech, while few man vända. Now, did the color and the timbre stay pretty much the same? Who knows? Who knows? Performers think a little bit differently than the sort of idealistic teacher or coach. The teacher and the coach are trying to bring you to a certain point where you are sort of fit all everybody's desires, and they don't. It's almost impossible. Some people, if you don't do an action and cover, they think you're wrong. They think you're standing up and singing with your throat totally neutral, as easy as pie, with clear diction. Eins, zwei, drei, eins, zwei, drei. How are you today? How are you today? I'm going to go downtown and get something to eat. They think, oh no, that's got to be wrong. You've got to go and distort the language. And from now on, I'm going to talk like that on my high notes. Well, what language is spoken that way in the world? None. So there are a lot of advantages to having to do nothing here. When I do this, I talked about in the first video how this goes completely neutral. Remember that? And then now we're working on this one. La, 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 la. I'm throatless, jawless, and tongueless. I'm not doing anything up here. I'm doing everything down below. We also talked about the static diaphragm being the opposite of the spinal stillness, of straight spine still posture, going la, la. That includes the cervical vertebra, the neck vertebra. It includes them as part of the vertebra chain and lines them up. So I go la, and what does this one do? La. Well, nearly everybody has a little bow in their back, a little dip back here, and it helps straighten that out. Some teachers, especially in the old days for me was, let's face it, 65 years ago. I'm 82, so 65 years ago was the old days for me. But the people that I worked with, like when I worked with Giovanni Martinelli, he was 77, I was 21. They used to teach the tuck, the abdominal tuck. You tuck your diaphragm in when you breathe, and it makes that little thing in back here go under. You go like that. Delmonico sang with that under all the time, for instance. I worked with him for about 6 months. And he was very much into phonation, which is this. If I sing there, now think about that. What has to be lined up for me able to sing with my point of phonation in the sternal notch? Now think about it. Nowadays, oh my God, singing in the throat, that can't be right. Well, babies go, they're down here, they're natural. Caruso said in his book, the valve is very far back and low in the throat. What was he talking about? Who knows? This is a business of throatless, jawless, and tongueless, and you must do what's necessary in the body to make that happen, and it all has to do with breathing. So I breathe, I can push my stomach out, and breathe. When I go, now my voice is placed in my nose automatically because of the way I breathe. See? What, can I get it out of there? Let me breathe in the front. Still a little bit, a third in the nose, maybe. See? It'd be better not singing the nose at all because the voice doesn't carry well, and I have to modify like mad when I get to the high notes. The voice in the nose, I have to go, I have to cover. That's why a lot of people think you have to cover. But the truth is, if your middle voice is in the right place, you don't have to cover with an action. If I breathe behind me, pull my stomach in, now my voice on my nose, sitting up here, which means when I get to the high notes, I will not have to modify. I can go, la, la, la. I still got to keep my spine straight, and today with all the smoke in the air that we have, and I'm real phlegmy, and if I had a performance tonight, I guarantee you I'd be pulling like crazy. I would keep everything away from this area because it's just too dirty, And when it's, when that's really clean and you're feeling good, you don't have to think very much about anything. But that's the difference also between the idealist, coach, critic, whoever, and the real performer who's got to go out and sing tonight when he feels sometimes like he's drowning in what the Germans call Schleim. Always love that word. We know what slime means in English, but Schleim in German means mucus. And so if you feel all mucusy, ba 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 ba, you got to get the voice ba 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 ba. You got to get it out of the nose, or it's even slimier. And then you have to find some way to make it work. Now don't tell me I can't sing my performance tonight. And I'll cry all the way to the bank that I had a little mucus in my throat. If I can really be terrific that night, you'll never know I had either an allergy. Most of the people walking around. I'm in Washington State. I'm west on the peninsula out here, Olympic Peninsula, west of Seattle, and we've got fires north, south, all around. California fires are blowing right up the coast, right up to us. So we're really. I can look out the window and see the grayness in the air. So what do you do? It's almost like an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn something about vocal technique. How do you sing? You're not going to feel good all the time. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes you're 82 years old. And you want to get up and sing. By golly. So what am I to do? How about my message? What's you working today? See? You got to be able to do all that stuff in performance. And what you want to do is develop this one, zero neck, what I call zero. I used to have push pull. That's what it was. Push pull, and this one is pull. And the healthier you are, the better you are, the younger you are, the more these pulls work. And then we have to understand this one caused the spine to line up from top to bottom, and I can make different colors by leaning different spots. I can make different colors by leaning these spots backwards also. What if I do, Mary Crystal Ludwig used to stand like this. She used to lean backwards between her shoulder blades. So what happens if I do that? I can lean backwards wherever I want to. What if I, let's say I'm going to try to really get down to my tailbone. I want to start doing combinations now. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2. And you practice these pulls, leans, push-pulls, and pulls, and you do them until you get comfortable with them and happy with them. And one of the best things about them is they help you sing on a bad day. I can either not do the video today, pretend that I never had phlegm in my life, which would be a big lie, or I can figure out, well, how am I going to sing it, especially if I had a performance, what would I do? Well, this is in a way a kind of a performance. I'm up in front of you, and I'm trying to show you something, and I'm croaking like an old frog. Going, well, guess what? I've got to figure out a way to sing. And if I don't, I can't show you. I'll take this and delete this video. might be a better idea anyway. So, but I'm absolutely going to go. I don't know if you can hear, but I'm doing my crescendo part of that by leaning back. How about down here? Anyway, I hope you're convinced and you're getting the idea now that you have these possibilities of pulling in ways that line everything up. And you can also use the static diaphragm. If you do, what you're doing, what is happening in the front happens in the back. That means when I'm going, I demonstrated a while ago. Remember this? I'm not doing this. This is a reaction. Watch. You can see when I do the big pull, it's more general and not as specific. And when I do this one, it's a little more specific. It's a little bit more in this area. But you work this out in your own body. Just try them a little bit and see what happens. And do all the vowels. Oh, it is so nice to be here. Oh, it is so nice to be here with you. Okay, so let's see. Let's hope that one will give somebody some ideas. So set this thing free. What we want here is Ava Turner's famous invisible throat. Okay? And if we can get invisible here, guess what? The voice jumps up, hits you in the breath, and everybody comes back to, oh my God, you're a dramatic voice, you're a Helen boy, blah, blah, blah. No, you're not. Just your resonance hits up here, carries well. Remember, babies are this long, and they go, and you can hear them all over everywhere. I've had 4 of them, and believe me, they could drown out a lot of so-called opera singers today. They get going. Okay? Okay. Bye. Thank you.